everybody. How's it going? Welcome back to the RKH podcast. I hope you're doing well. This is Rami, the RKH, your host, psychic healer, lawyer, and life coach. I am currently on my series of narcissism. So today we are going to be talking about manipulation in narcissistic relationships. So this is something that you may have experienced in various forms. It could be through partnership, it could be through your parent life, and sometimes both. Sometimes it mirrors in a different area of your life. So it can go from parent to relationship, usually not the opposite way around, because the way in which we heal our traumas is from the generations above us, and then we clear it all for our descendants. All right. A little disclaimer before we start. I want to say that I am not diagnosing anybody with narcissism. Narcissism is something that is diagnosed through a healthcare practitioner, like a psychiatrist, but people do exhibit narcissistic and toxic traits and qualities, and a lot of these things overlap because, how many emotions and traits can you really have in the world? So I just want to make that clear that if these traits fit a situation you've been in and it resonates, it does not necessarily mean that this person is a diagnosed narcissist, okay? That term is kind of thrown around a little loosely right now. All right, so we're going to be talking about manipulation. I've covered this in previous episodes in various forms, but we're just going to sit down and talk about manipulation. First of all, I want you to know if you've been manipulated, it is not your fault. People with these traits it's a science to them. It's a gift. Their ability to manipulate is a gift, which is pretty sad to say and think. But if you had a degree in manipulation, you would know how to manipulate. It's like, you start to learn about mental health and how the brain functions if you do classes or a course in psychology or a degree in psychology, okay? Individuals that are manipulative know exactly how to basically get their way and to win one over on those around them. The flip side is they will eventually get caught because there will eventually be a scenario that comes into their life to create a tower moment around this manipulation to expose it. Manipulation can come in, I was talking about this in exploitation as well, various forms. It could be psychological manipulation, financial manipulation, mental, right? So a lot of the themes are going to be the same. The one thing that occurs all of the time is you're probably going to gaslight yourself for being manipulated. You're going to say, I should have known better, I should have done better, I should have seen the signs. Please, please, please be kind to yourself, because it is not your fault if you have been manipulated, because somebody went with the intention to cause harm. Somebody went there with the intention and wanted to screw you over, essentially, in whatever form, to make you less than. So you going and blaming yourself for that is not what you should be doing, okay? You should not be doing that. You should not be telling yourself in the mirror that you're stupid for falling for it, all right? Don't do that. It's kind of like if you went and relied on someone that wasn't in your profession to teach you something that you don't know, because it has nothing to do with what you do. That's how you need to look at it. You would probably trust them with blind faith that they're telling you the truth, right? So sometimes breaking it down into more 3D basic terms will be more palatable for you to understand why it is really crucial to be kind on yourself or to yourself. The reason why manipulation occurs, like I said, is to have a leg up. It is because an individual wants to have the ability to control you. They will manipulate you to make you feel like you're less than, like I was saying. They will manipulate you to do less and to be a version of yourself that can't succeed. They will emotionally keep you on kind of a string, so that way you're tired and exhausted. Nietzsche says, the tired person will be the one, in other words, that will repeat habits that they basically conquered long ago. So if you're tired, you're not going to have the energy to keep up with your boundaries. You're not going to have the energy to assert your value all the time. So a person that has these traits is going to want to make sure that you are exhausted, that you're not asking them for accountability, because what does that do? That gives them the ability to leech off of you, to control you, to put their hands on you, physically or metaphorically, and have you do certain things. Manipulation can be even to do with your own family. It could be the parentified daughter or son that you are that is being told that they need to do more so the parent doesn't have to grow and take accountability. You could be the one that is said, hey, that's told, hey, you need to do this and that. If not, you're not a good son. You're not a good daughter. That is also manipulation. Because at the end of the day, you are the child. You are the one that was brought into this world, not by choice necessarily, by spiritual choice, yes, but other people basically took that upon themselves. So for you to then be manipulated and told that you need to be the parent, or you need to be doing more things to prove your love to somebody that brought you into this world, is manipulation. That is something that is so common between parent and child dynamics, because you are told, and it can even be grandparent, you are told that your worthiness is dependent on what you do for another person. When somebody wins that argument over you, even just temporarily, it's going to be something that you think about a lot after, because you're going to start to question your value of self. You're going to start to question your worth, your self-esteem, how this even happened. But remember, like I said, when you're tired and when you're being manipulated, it's easy for it to happen. And it happens over time. It's something that they chip away at over time. They don't come in with the big kahuna on the first shot. Not necessarily. If you become familiar with these patterns, you'll be able to see it at the first attempt because you've already been there. So a part of learning about the ways and styles you can be manipulated is a tool that you get to use in the future. It's a tool you get to use around people that probably, like I said, don't have your best interests at heart. Becoming emotionally manipulated is one of the most painful experiences you'll ever go through in your life. It's that push and pull. It's one day I love you, one day I don't. One day I love you, one day I don't. And then into the mix becomes, I don't love you because of this. So you try to change that. Then that kind of gets fixed. It's like, oh yeah, but I don't like you because you do this little thing. Even when you fix this, you do this, right? There are all these cracks and crevices to try and mold you into the version that this person wants to be that makes them feel more superior. But newsflash, that never ends. It doesn't end. Either it'll continue to grow and you'll lose yourself in the experience, or it'll happen with the next person, right? So your ability to stand up for yourself is crucial in these moments, but it is sometimes impossible. During those times where you start to see the glimpses of reality, take advantage of those moments. Reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, seek therapy, talk to a coach, message a friend or a family member. I'm always around in that capacity as a coach, but make the connection so you are not alone in that experience. Because I bet you, when somebody finds out that you are going through this, they are not gonna just let it slide. Not those in your close circle, they're not gonna let it slide. It's not that they need to fix the scenario. You need to fix the scenario for yourself, but the accountability is there more, basically, because you've already told somebody that this is something that you're experiencing. So be kind to yourself. I think that's like the main theme and message for this. You may also be manipulated in other ways. It could be social manipulation, where you're in settings and you're isolated to make you feel alone, to make you feel more needy. It could be financial manipulation, where you're convinced that you need to give or do something financially to please this person. It could be a combination of all of these things, and usually is because they want you to be on your knees begging for their support. They want you to please them. They want you to do everything for them. They want you to do all of the hard work to make this relationship happen and to stay afloat while they continue to live in this toxic greed. And like I said, it is a science. And if people around them have never been aware of the level of manipulation, they probably have not held them accountable, and so they've become enabled. If they are aware of the manipulation and it hasn't impacted them to the degree that it's impacted you, then they're definitely enabled. And what a lot of people like to think is that I should stay back because it's not my problem. I should stay back because this is not my issue. I should stay back because I'm not involved. But you are involved. You are aiding and abetting what can turn out to be a crime in a way. And not in the actual legal sense, aiding and abetting, but what I mean is you see that somebody is dangerous and you let them be dangerous because you think it doesn't impact you. The unfortunate part about life and karma is that it eventually ends up impacting the people that didn't want to put their hands on it, that had the power to do something, that had the power to hold up accountability, that didn't basically, what's the word? The enablers. And it's weak. The people that stand up against it are always the ones that get burned and scathed. So you've probably been in that scenario a couple of times by now, at least, or if you're in a relationship or, it's a parent dynamic, it's a continuous thing. So you calling it out in the wrong crowd, it's not going to create accountability. You calling it out in the right crowd hopefully will, right? But that makes it harder to leave when people see the truth and more people are trying to help. So it's kind of like a pick your poison. It could keep you stuck in the loop for a lot longer if you're feeling supported, if you don't feel like people are aiding and abetting in the behavior. It all comes down to what individuals want protection around. What do they want to look like? How do they want to feel? What do they want to avoid feeling inside themselves once they realize that this is reality? And that can turn into different forms of gaslighting. That can turn into ignorance. That can turn into shutting you down, which also formulates a level of manipulation. Because now you're the one overreacting. Now you're the one ostracized. Now you're the one isolated. Now you're the one that has the problem. Okay? So at that point is when you're going to start to see how this behavior occurred, how it started, how it has manifested. And you're not going to blame yourself. The fact that you can see it clearly is the sign and symbol that you need, right? Because if you didn't care or you didn't have an issue, you weren't being harmed every day, you would have no reason to speak up. The feeling you have inside, the feeling of danger, the feeling of being scared is your answer. Your body never lies. Your body never lies to you. Okay? I need you to remind yourself of that. And as much as you can, don't rely on other people to validate that intuition. Going back to what I said before, if you are in a situation of clarity where you want to reach out for help, reach out for help. So you can talk to an objective, neutral party about your experiences. Let it out. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it. You'll be so much better off. You'll be so much lighter when you share your experience with somebody close to you to find a resolution, okay? I hope that this episode helped. I know it was a little bit of a different format than before, but we've covered a lot of this in the exploitation episode. If you want to work one-on-one with me, it just sounds like you and you want support, I'm here for you. You can book a coaching call with me via the link in my bio. I hope you're following along on all my social platforms. I'd love if you leave a review, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode of the RKH Beyond the Eyes podcast. Bye.